beautiful and productive, right? I don't know if you want to share how your week was, but mine was good, though it was a bit stressful. So you're welcome to today's class. A very quick announcement, okay? So once you join, please do well to fill in the attendance. If you have any problem trying to fill the attendance, you can always chat us on our official line, okay, on WhatsApp. So today is going to be a very good one. It promises to be very good and informative. Feel free to ask your question whenever you want to ask, okay, but let there be decorum, right? Thank you for that. Okay, so secondly, in the announcement, I noticed that most of us are always on the call, but we have not registered. So I am wondering how we are going to capture your assessment and attendance when you have not registered. So if you are on the call and you know that you have not yet registered for this program, please, you can always chat us on our WhatsApp line, right? Then thirdly, to those of you who have made payment and didn't send your proof of payment, believe me, we are not able to capture your assessment and we are not also able to capture your attendance. So please, if you have made your payment and you are yet to send your proof of payment, please do so because we have a lot of persons to attend to, okay? And if you are yet to pay, just like the proprietor had said, we should give an extension so that we could accommodate everyone. Please do well to pay promptly, all right? So if there is any, okay, one more before I stopped in the announcement part. If you are here to follow us on all of our social media platforms, please do. As a partaker of this program, you are supposed to follow us on all of our social media handles, subscribe to our YouTube channels where all the recordings of this program is uploaded to, okay? Follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, engage us on our WhatsApp, whatever is your consent, please feel free to share it. And we'll always be glad to give response to your inquiries, all right? Thank you so much for having me today. So please give us a moment to get our first trainer on the call. Enjoy the rest of today. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. If you're just joining us, like we've said a few minutes ago, kindly give us a few more minutes as we get the first trainer today, to join us in class. He is currently having a technical issue, but that is about to be resolved. Thank you for your patience, but we'll start in a few minutes. So thank you for joining us.
All right, you're welcome back. Okay, so we are going to be starting now. Our first trainer for today is Dr. Dayo Shobowale. He is a graduate of Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, where he studied computer science and engineering. He has a master's degree in software engineering and PhD in computer science. Dr. Shobowale is a registered engineer with Coren, C-O-R-E-N. He studied law at Adeleke University, Ede. He equally succeeded at the Nigerian Law School. He was subsequently called to the Nigerian bar and registered by the Supreme Court as a barrister and solicitor of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Barrister Shobowale also backed his master's in law. He is currently running his PhD in law. He acquired a postgraduate diploma in education from the National Teachers Institute, Kaduna, and went further to register for a postgraduate diploma program in educational psychology at Ekiti State University, Ado-Ekiti, Nigeria. Dr. Dayo Shobowale, a bilingual who speaks English and French, is also a seasoned software programmer with proven skills in software development, website design, and database management. He is also a network engineer. He is a member of the Institute of Strategic Management of Nigeria. As an entrepreneur, he is the founding chairman and alter ego of DABOSS Polytechnic, an academic vocational institution, which he started as a computer training center when he was a student at the Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife. He is a pragmatic speaker, a life coach, and a radio, television, and social media analyst on economic, career, academic, religious, and political issues. He is a prolific writer who has authored many books and is an ICT guru. Please, with a clap of hands in the chat room, please can we make welcome Dr. Dayo Shobowale. Welcome, sir. Please, you can take it off from here.
Doctor, are you there? Can you hear us?
Oh, I can hear you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm speaking to doctor if you can hear us. Okay, I see he's already off the call again. He's having technical issues. Okay, please kindly give us another 2 or 3 minutes and let's check on with him. He was on the call and now he's back off the call. Boma, please make him co-host. I think I can see him back on the call. Please make him co-host and so he can speak.
Okay, good.
Okay, okay, okay. He's
Good
back on the
morning,
call.
everybody.
Good morning, doctor. Good to have you on the call.
Hey, it's nice being here this morning again thank you so much. It's nice.
Hello, doc.
Good morning. So what we'll be dealing with this morning is about resilience and grief. If you all look at if you look at the screen, if you look at your screen, you will see that I can or I can't this. But briefly, let me say this. This type of training, this type of topic is what is usually missing, that make people end up saying that motivational speeches or motivational speakers are not facing reality. You see, that's why I always give it to the Transformation College when it comes to training. The Transformation College is usually balanced, comprehensive training. A balance is always created by Transformation College. And that is why anybody who follows the series of trainings, the topics organized by this college will definitely be transformed. If you don't understand what resilience is, what grit is, if you don't understand how if you still think resilience and grit are the same thing, then you may not be getting the best. Are you getting it? You may have those dreams written and not accomplished. A lot of people have said, I'm going to become this. When I am 40 years, I'll become this. Suddenly they are 40. Oh no, when I'm 45, before they knew what was happening, they have become 45 years. Those goals remain unachieved. Some people will say, oh no, it's when I'm 50, and you look at them, they have clocked 50 years. They're now asking, this world is not not worth living. Then they come up to say vanity upon vanity. All is vanity. And they now become consolers. They become philosophers, bringing different philosophy. So and so tried it didn't work. So and so tried it didn't work. It's not compulsory you achieve this. It's not compulsory you achieve that. Once I can eat, I give back to children. They now reduce the life that should have been meaningful, that should have been impactful, to a life that is just ordinary. They now begin to celebrate existence instead of having a living. You understand? They just, you get what I'm talking about. So all they are now left with is, oh, today is, thank God it's Friday. Today is Monday. Happy New Week. Happy New Month. Happy New Day. Happy New Year. Happy birthday. That's the only thing they celebrate. Let me tell you this. If all you celebrate in your life are the new weeks, the new days, the new year, the birthdays, if that's all you celebrate, then you have not yet achieving your goals. What you should be celebrating, in my house, and all my mentees know it, you don't tell me Happy New Year, it is Happy New You. When something new has happened, by the time you have set a goal and you have achieved it, that is when you are to be celebrated. It can be 3 months goal, it can be 6 months goal. You can have yearly goal, 5-year goal. You understand? That is when you will be celebrated. By the time you graduate, you have to be celebrated. If you choose to study a course, if you want to learn French, for example, and you have completed it, you could be in 3 months, it could be in 4 months, then you have to be celebrated. Happy New You. Before, 4 months ago, all you could speak is English language. Today, you can speak English, you can speak French. If you chose to learn to produce bread, if you chose anything you have chosen to do, you have set your goal to do. Okay, look at what the Euro 2024 is on at the moment. Yesterday, it is Happy New Stage for France and Spain. They have advanced to the semi-final. You understand? By the time the two teams clash, are you with me? One of them will also advance. So when that person advances, it is Happy New Final to that person. Happy 2024 final. And the team will finally win. And that will be Happy New Champion. So the question is, Happy New what are you celebrating? Are you getting it? So that for you to celebrate those things, your resilience and grit is one of the key things that make a lot of people reduce from celebrating achievements, from celebrating success of achieving goals, to celebrating just days and weeks and years. Now, what is grit? If you look at it from the dictionary, as we have on the screen, the courage and strength of mind, mental strength, that makes it possible for somebody new doing something difficult or unpleasant. I don't want to say unpleasant. The word unpleasant there, what it's saying is, it's not as if something bad. You understand? Something that is not, you kept on doing it. It's not as if at the time you are doing it, you are not really enjoying it. You understand? It's not drinking, it's not eating, it's not dining, it is demanding. You understand? You know, if I call you to a party and I say, oh, today I'm celebrating my birthday or what have you, and what would you like to take? Please serve them rice, serve them this, serve them wine. You are excited. You can't be eating and you say you are doing something difficult or something unpleasant. Are you getting it now? You cannot be dancing and say doing something difficult or something unpleasant. But if you watch yesterday's match, during the extra time, all the 22 players on the field were playing the match. It was difficult for someone at 39 years, at 32 years, to be on the field for 120 minutes. You understand? It was not pleasant, but they had to remain there if the trophy is going to be theirs. You understand? So when you do something that is difficult or unpleasant, we call that, and you continue with it in strength. That's great. Now, your resilience is the ability of people or things to recover quickly after something unpleasant, such as shock, injury. You understand? That resilience, you understand, is as if you are saying, when you say someone is resilient, that person is not bending despite the breaks, not bending despite the breaks, not getting broken despite the knocks. Resilience, ability to stay on despite hardship. That's what any Nigerian needs to remain in this country. Let's move on. Let's move on. Okay, thank you. So now resilience are great. You know, some people use it interchangeably, but they are not. No, the slide before this, please. The slide before this. The slide before. Okay, thank you. So, but let's look at it. Grit is a combination. They are not the same thing. Grit is a combination of passion and perseverance in an effort to achieve long-term goals. Grit, passion and perseverance. You are passionate about it. And you see, I said something yesterday on social media that don't invest in your area of interest, but your area of strength. A lot of people don't get that. Now, when you have grief, there is passion and you are persevering, because without passion and perseverance, which will lead to burnout. And that's why your area of strength is very, very important. Your interest can change, your strength will not. Your strength is innate. Your strength is inbuilt. You see, your interest is dependent on the environment. Your strength is dependent on your makeup, your internal makeup, your divine makeup. You understand? Your resilience, that's your strength. That is what your strength is all about. It's your potential. You understand? So combination of passion and perseverance is what will help you. Without perseverance, what happens is you see that people will give up. Grit gives people a mental toughness that enables them to persist and even succeed in the face of adversity. That we are facing an adverse period in this country is no more in news. But what will help us overcome this period? That's what we are looking at. Resilience, on the other hand, is the process and outcome of a successful adapting to difficult or challenging life experiences, especially through mental, emotional, and behavioral flexibility and adjustment to external and internal demands. Let's move on. I'll be bringing up, so I'll be combining this. I have to make you read these words. I'm happy. I will plead that this slide is given to everybody, so that after now you can go through it again, because the slides are loaded. When you have resilience, you harness the inner strength. You see that helps you rebound from setback or challenge, just such as job loss, an illness, a disaster, or a loved one's death. That's resilience. When you talk of resilience of grief, will make your problems go away. Is how to handle that problem. You understand? It will give you you will definitely overcome them. There are a lot of things that happen to us. Suddenly, your source of income can be blocked. You understand? The person that loves you most, who has been assisting you, giving you money, giving you this or that, that person can just turn against you. Maybe by the influence of some external factors. Some people who are jealous of what you are going through, they just go to the person, malign you, or you even made a mistake, and the person observed that, no, despite my trust for this man, despite my plan for this lady, despite this, despite that, and that person cuts away from you, or you are demoted at your place of work due to negligence. At times, that because when the resilient person, anybody who is resilient, you will see the factors, the characteristics of resilience and the grit later. If you are resilient, one thing is you must not push blame on anybody. The person to be blamed is you. You must have understanding. Resilience and grit is actually about building our mental capacity, our mental sagacity. That's what it's about. That is what it is about. It's just about that. So you need to understand that it is not as if the resilience will now remove the problem. No, it will help you to handle the problem. A lot of people, when there is a setback, when there is a challenge, they think, oh, this is a time to, someone is affecting me. I need to go to this prophet. I need to do this. It is fasting and praying. Most of the time, that is not the issue. Most of the time, that is not the problem. Are you getting it now? It's not the devil that caused the problem. So don't think God is the one to remove the problem. You understand? We spiritualize everything. When there are challenges, just look inward. The solution is within you. You just need to be resilient. You just need to understand. First thing is you identify. When we move on, let's move to the next slide so that you can follow it one after the other. Now you look at this. The stressors, the things that happen in life. You see, it happens to you, your life cannot be 100% smooth. This is something you need to understand. Please, my people, let us face the fact. I always use this illustration. For those of you who are Christians, you will understand this from the scriptures. Saul wanted to kill David. You understand? David was resilient, but I want you to know something. It was from the apron of Saul that Jonathan was born. Saul wanted to kill David. Jonathan wanted to save David. Jonathan ended up saving David. I want to tell you something, this morning, that you need to understand very well that the problem you are facing, right in that problem lies the solution. Please get this thing. It's a principle of life. When you look deep, that person giving you problem is still the person carrying the solution. It might be his son, it might be his friend, it might be his connection, it might be something. You see, you don't hate anyone. Don't have disdain for anybody. There are stressors in life, adversity, trauma, tragedy. These things are not planned for, but they occur. Nigerians, we don't like looking at this aspect of life because we believe when it is smooth, oh, God is on our side. Once it is not smooth, what have I done? God, have you neglected me? You see, we are only deceiving ourselves. We are deceiving ourselves. That's why I tell people that if Nigerians start producing car, instead of having extra tire, they are going to have extra prayer, because Nigerians don't like planning or preparing for risk or adversity. What we like is praying that risk. We want risk avoidance. We don't want risk maintenance. You understand? And this is a major challenge. If you are going to succeed in life, if you are going to come out fine and clean and fine in life, you must be prepared. You must be trained. You must be planned to handle adversity, trauma, tragedy when they occur. They don't always occur. They are never the norm in life. But whenever they occur, to us or to people around us, we should not mislead them into thinking that, no, it is the devil. No, it is because of this. Just look inward. What's the cause of this tragedy? What's the cause of this trauma? When you establish the cause, be factual with yourself. Don't deceive yourself. Don't push your fault on someone else's life. Don't, please, don't. These are the areas where a lot of us make mistakes. When you have a challenge in life and you have someone else to blame apart from yourself, then the solution does not lie with you. It lies with the person you have blaming. But the moment you know that this is where I've gone wrong, this is what I should have done, I didn't do, or it is absolutely not my fault, at times it is professional negligence. Professional negligence. You understand? Now, I shared with the program coordinator this morning that I am at a burial ground. After, in preparing for this program, I was just called that I lost a friend. You understand? So getting to as I'm talking to you now, I just came into my car. I'm at the burial ground. The lady died this morning. Now, you need to understand something. I was now asking that, look, what caused the death? Someone said no. And when it is God's time, I said, keep quiet. It's not God's time. What caused the death? Who was with her? I needed to know, because it could be the nurses, it could be this, it could be that. And I told them, look, I'm a lawyer. And we need to understand. Do you know that this lady was high blood pressure? So the hospital she was, where she was being given oxygen, she felt there was no change. There's a hospital somewhere, you understand, that could be better, and she discharged herself voluntarily yesterday, got to that other hospital, you understand, that do not have that facility, and she passed on yesterday night, very late yesterday night. We are now to bury her at 40 something. At 40 something. You understand? You see, this is something pathetic, very pathetic. But one thing I saw is that act of discharging yourself, taking action. We must be careful of the decisions we make. Now, what's the mediating process? Of course, resilience, families, community, schools. This happens, emotions regulation, effective problem solving skills. I've mentioned all this. So what do you gain? It will be positive, prevailing, better than expected. You become stronger. That is what you gain. Now, this mediating process, okay, let's look at great. What are the qualities of great? Now, the qualities of great, that's passionately persevering in solving a problem. Passionately, PPP. Passionately persevering in solving a problem. PPP. Now, what are the stuff? Your character, mental toughness. Brethren, mental toughness, positivity, intensity. Then you have the guts, you have the boldness, you make effort. You see, you don't sit down. A lot of you, when you make mistakes and you are being corrected, you get frustrated. You sit down, you get discouraged, you become embittered. It doesn't go that way. No. You must be relentless. Be ready to accept you are wrong and make efforts. Subsequent time, there is no one on earth who does not have a weakness. Your degree of success, the commencement of your success, is the display of your area of strength. The longevity of your success is the management of your area of weakness. That you will blossom, that depends on your strength. That you will last, it depends on your weakness. You will only last as a successful soul based on how you are able to manage your weaknesses. Weaknesses are internal, strengths internal. You get it now? They're internal. So when your life begins and you are succeeding, it depends on how you are able to handle that. Let's look at types of resilience. Now, of course, you have the physical one. I've been talking about the emotional one. You will see it. We'll break it down in the next one. Then you have mental resilience and social resilience. The physical one, it refers to our body capacity to arise to physical challenges and maintain stamina and recover efficiency. Please go back to that one, types of resilience. Thank you. Now, you see, this physical resilience, I want us to please mind what we eat and exercise regularly. You will see it. So let's move on. That's what I want to say about the physical one. Let's move on. Now, building emotional resilience. You can see this emotional resilience. A lot of us will break down in tears when things happen. I remember when someone was coming to meet me for a program, either for the person needed something. I was not describing. The person was on bike. Go, I don't know. I'm tired. Nobody is getting the place. You know what I told that fellow? I said, look, just how much did you pay the bike man? Send me your account. I will send you the money, then turn back and return home. No, sir, that's not what I mean. See, a lot of you cannot face simple challenges. Because you have failed a course once does not mean you should be discouraged. You fail the course once does not mean you fail it forever. I mean, simple as ABC. Understand. The way you express yourself. Some people will get angry for no reason, but after you have gotten angry, you now realize that you actually the one who is wrong. You realize that the person you have been backing at is not even aware of everything you are saying. That everything turns back. If you have not gotten the facts, don't make statements. Please, let's move on. Let's move on, please. The another thing is the issue of high self-esteem. When I talk of high self-esteem, pride, and self-confidence. You see, one looks negative, one is good. When you have self-confidence, don't look down on yourself. Then don't be humble. Don't look down on others. If you look down on others, you are proud. If you look down on yourself, you lack self-confidence. Do you understand? Avoid pride, but have self-confidence. I believe you've gotten that. Now look at the psychological resilience. I told you about your body. Training. Please, train your system. Train your system. Your eating habit, some of us eat late, including myself, is not the best. Your tummy will become unnecessarily big. Big tummy is not wealth. It's health danger. Don't eat late. Let's follow these principles. Rest well. What I'm telling you is to me as well. Rest well. You understand? Try your best to enjoy, to give your body the best. In terms of what you eat, it's not only carbohydrates. The funny thing is, until recently that the economy is becoming almost unmanageable, the funny thing is the things to eat to keep your body good are usually not costly. The vegetables, the fruits, the oranges, the meat pies that we eat that work against our system. But that's what our tongue sees as sweet. I've not gotten this kind of paradox before in life. Those things that your tongue, some vegetables, you can plant them at the back of your house. Very cheap. Very, very cheap. Eating raw tomato is even good for your health. You understand? But those things don't appeal to us. What appeals to us are the things that will affect our system. The bottle of Coke. You understand? They are the things that will affect our system, which is very cold. And these are things that we all need to watch. These things, we should minimize things that can affect our system negatively. You understand? And maximize these other fruits that are cheap. Now, your art, your value system, please have a large heart. Don't run down anybody. Don't condemn anybody. This is common among lots of people. You understand? They always want to blame someone for their own demeanor. Then you have to build your mind through meditation, through planning, and through relevant stories. Profitable stories, not negative stories. And by the time your mind is trained, I wish I could have time to explain this place. Then your spirit, intuition. You see, when you sit down and you relax and you are meditating, when you are meditating, you begin to, your mind, when you sincerely meditate about your life, you will receive intuition about the next step. To know the next step, think of the last step. Are you with me? When you think of your past, your future will be clear. When you understand your past, you will predict your future. A lot of people don't understand who they are. That is why they keep wanting to be who they are not. You get me? If you understand this is who I am, This is my area of peculiarity. By the time you are setting your goal for the future, by the time you are predicting your future, it will be a relevant future that you are predicting and not just any future. You understand? Then learn how to write whatsoever comes to you as a form of intuition. You will see it, and that will build your potential. You'll be excited. You'll be excited, and people will connect. People will connect. Now, I'm a speaker. Now you are one or two things you are learning. You understand? There are some people, they are good organizers. People will require your service to help them organize. Your area of strength, please build on it. Let's move on. Now, you see, physical resilience. I said it before, exercise regularly, balanced diet adequately, stress management techniques, maintain social connections. I will just talk on the social connections. Please be deliberate about the platforms you are. This transformation college that has brought us together is a platform you must not be far from. Any platform you belong to that you have exited once or twice because someone annoyed you, don't return there. They will still annoy you. Any platform you belong to that when you read, you will ease. Delete your look. Don't stress yourself deliberately. Anything that makes you unhappy, withdraw. There's different from something being difficult and something always come. That's what we tell people. They will remain in an abusive relationship. Some are not even married. Can you imagine? And say, no, it will change. She will change. Who told you? This is your future partner according to you, but each time you meet, there's always a problem. You're always having issues with him or with her. That's unfair. You understand? So let's move on. Let's move on. So now, why is resilience important in life? When adversity strikes, can you are you getting? That's why we always say that no matter how strong you are, you will have prayer requests. It is sure. Mindset allows you to tackle problems head on, overcome them, and move on. And that one will still come. You understand? It prevents you from becoming overwhelmed and encourages healthy coping mechanisms. It also helps you to tap into your strengths. I've mentioned that, and support networks to rebuild after experiencing pain, hardship, and suffering. When you lose your job, when you lose your loved ones, when you lose one thing or the other, the solution, let me tell you this, the way God designed the world, there is no problem that comes before solution. The solution, the design is solution before problem. So anytime, but you will not see the solution. It's there before the problem occurred. Anytime problem comes, resiliently, greatly, check the root of the problem. Check the problem very well. The solution lies there. It lies right there in that problem. The solution lies right in that problem. Are you getting it now? That any ties in that problem. That is what we must be careful. You understand? Because by the time problem comes and you start crying, the reason why that problem is persisting is because you have failed to see solution. So your assignment is to find the solution, skills you need to develop resilience. I've explained that adversity, that's a challenging situation, interpreting the situation, and that's what I just explained. The solution, have it at the back of your mind, the solution is there, but you interpret the situation, understand the problem. Don't blame someone else. No, anything that is happening to you, how much do you have in your bank account? You are responsible. If you have 200 million in your bank account, you are responsible. If you have 2 million there, you are responsible. If you have 2,000, it's still you. You are the reason. So if you want to increase your 2,000 naira to 20,000, you have to increase yourself. The solution, the problem is you. The problem, understand, interpret the situation. Why did it happen this way? Oh, you are involved in an accident. Were you overspeeding? Were you making calls while driving? What were you thinking of something else? Did you check the car very well the way you should have checked it? You understand? Look deep inward. Don't be quick to say it is bound to happen. No, sir. No, ma. Don't say it's bound to happen. Interpret the situation. Then what do you need or feel as a result of the situation? Are you getting it? What should you have added? So that is when you are looking for the solution. But also understand that solution is not far. It's not far away. It's within your network. When a friend is annoyed with you, there's another friend who will talk to that person so that it will be cleared on what to do. Just get it. Personality factors associated with resilience. You must have self-direction. You must cooperate. You understand? Then harm avoidance. People who are decisive and less anxious can more easily accept uncertainty and risk and are more confident in making decisions. You see, I said this yesterday to someone when he was asking, he was in a challenge. I said, look, if you are not prompt with your decision, then you cannot go far in life. You must be able to decide. Some people, their work is giving them stress for 2, 3, 4 years. They know that work is not theirs, but they are wishing that they will get a better work. Do you know that at times their best bet is to resign and stay off? When they stay off for 2, 3 days, decisive. We still wait for some things to happen before we can make decisions. We rely, when your decision is based on external factors, your success cannot get to the maximum, to the peak. Your decisions, external factors can influence it, can guide you, but external factors must not be the basis for your decision. It must be internal. You must be decisive. Let's move on. Causes of lack of resilience. Our childhood experiences, lack of social support, unrealistic plans, low self-esteem, emotional regulation. Let me talk about unrealistic plans. You see, your plans will always be unrealistic by when you set unachievable goals. When you set unachievable goals, you have set yourself up for failure and disappointment. So lower resilience often stems from taking on too much, too fast, setting yourself up for failure. It's practically, when I was serving during my NYC, someone said, I'm going to buy a Jeep this year. I said, me, I can't buy a Jeep this year. The person was looking at me. Now, you see, the funny thing is that you are serving, you are still, this is NYC, you have not worked anywhere, you want to buy Jeep. Is that the way it works? What? You see, life is in stages. Life is in stages. You have not even learned work. You don't know the work you want to do. You are still going to be an applicant. You don't have a business of your own. What you are thinking is having Jeep. You see, we always look at the way we set our goals in Nigeria is usually materialistic. It's materialistic. We don't have plans. We don't build plans. We just set goals. So when we say you are to set, get it clear. A car is just used based on your work. Based on your work. Some people need vehicle for this, for traveling, some for internal runs. The type of vehicle you purchase depends on the work you have part time. When we say you are setting goals, it's not building houses, that is goal setting. I'm going to build the best mansion. Let me correct that.
Hello, Doc. I think your network is glitching because we can't seem to hear you. Doc, are you still there? Okay, the call. Kindly exercise patience and let's get him back to the call, please.
So let's move on. Let's move on. The low self-esteem, I've explained that, and your childhood experiences. Some of us have some have a lot of challenges based on what they have. Some have been abused. Some grew from a wrong environment. If your childhood experience was negative, you have to be deliberate. You have to be deliberate in correcting them. Please move on. Let's move on, please. How do I train myself to be more resilient? Of course. Look at those points. Develop self-awareness, build your self-regulation, learn coping skills, increase optimism, strengthen your connections, and you should know your strength. I've emphasized all this in the course of my discussion. Know your strength, strengthen connections, know yourself, strengthen connections, and that is it. So what next, please? So you see the components. Optimism, focus on your strengths. I've explained this. Focus on your strengths. Solve your problem, and don't forget that the solution is inch to the problem. Then there should be self-control in the way you respond to circumstances. Don't cry. Don't run down anybody. Don't bring down anything. Move on, please.
Doc, we can't hear you, please.
Let's move on, please.
Okay, here we go.
Let's move on. Let's move on to the next slide. The next slide, there is still an assignment for us. I've explained most of the things in the remaining slide, but let's move on. Yes, so how do you build your resilience? You see it, resilience, take care of yourself, take care of yourself. Yeah, let's go to that place. Now, take this simple test. I have 3 minutes more. I want to round up this class. Take this simple test and score yourself the result. Take these simple steps, score yourself in the result. And what do you have? So when you score yourself in that result, whatsoever you are able to get shows you who exactly you are. I believe you have learned one or two things in the course of this class, and I hope that you will definitely maximize it by following the right steps and doing the till we meet again. Thank you. Thank you. Bye for now.
All right, thank you very much, Doctor. That was a very insightful one. Please, do we have questions? We will just take a few questions. Doctor needs to go get off the call because, like he mentioned, he's at the burial ground. He needs to join other mourners. So we will take 1 or 2 questions. If you have a question, kindly put up your hand and we will unmute you to speak. Okay, Richard, Please go ahead and unmute yourself to speak.
Okay. Hello, good morning.
Yes,
Hello.
go ahead. We can hear you. Go ahead, please.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Doctor, for this great teaching you taught us this morning. I've really learned a lot, and I was really happy to know that you attended Great Ife. So my question is this: you mentioned the mental grit. I want to ask that most of us Nigerian, we do go through mental breakdown that maybe existing challenges, there's solution in our challenge already. But most of us Nigeria, how can we salvage that mental grit? How can we remain strong in the face of challenges, in the face of difficulty, even from our government? That's my question. Thank you.
Doctor, are you still on the call? Okay, I think, okay, I think we lost him there. All right, so please kindly chat your question in the chat, and we will copy that and give the answer in the chat room as well, while we have him answer that. All right, so thank you very much, Richard, for your question. Please drop your question in the chat room and we will respond to your question right in the chat room. Okay, so yes, we'll go straight away to the second class, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed the class on resilience and grit, and I hope this adds value to you as an individual. So let's move over to the next class. Now we have a little rescheduling. We will take the business analysis class as a second class. And before we go over to take the ISO class for today. So ladies and gentlemen, no other person but the proprietor himself will be taking the class on business analysis today. It is a pleasure to have you in class today. Thank you for sharing your time with us, Doctor. Kindly take it off from the ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause in the chat room as we welcome the proprietor himself. Thank you, Dr. Orlando. Okay, take it up from here. Oma, please make Doctor a co-host. Kindly make Dr. a co-host.
All right, so it's still morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Can everybody hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Brilliant. So it's great to have everybody here. Thank you once again. Let me try to answer some of the questions that that people were asking. For one, and I like that question. I think it was from Richard or somebody like that. Yeah, Richard said, yes, it is Richard. How can we stay resolute in the face of all these challenges that we're facing, even as a country? First is that you've got to realize that, life, living life is for the living. So if you're alive, then that in itself is a huge advantage. And I think that's the first thing that you've got to realize, that if you're alive as a person, then you're at an advantage. At a good, in fact, it is excellent that you're alive and that you have challenges in themselves. It's great, because if you were dead, you won't even be dealing with anything. And if you have a challenge, there's always the possibility that you will thrive and survive and get out of that particular challenge. So You don't even have a choice. If you live in Nigeria, the government is not helping, the environment might not be helping. Many things are almost against you. The currency, the economy, everything literally is almost like it's against you. However, you've got, that's why we've introduced a module like grit and resilience. And I like what Dr. Shobo Ali said. He said that you've got to realize that there's a solution. There is a solution. Most Nigerians, our biggest challenge is poverty. And that's why if you go and look at SDG Go 1, right, that our biggest challenge is poverty. If you in church all the time, you say that how many people, if you say who's got a prayer request, and people will raise up their hand. So let's try it here on this call. Who are those that have a request? Right? Please go into the chat room. Who are those that have a request? I can bet that it is everybody. It is everybody that has a request. But how many people here will still have a challenge if you get if they get 10 million naira? Let's not talk about 50 million. If you get 10 million, will you still have a challenge? How many? For most people, their prayer points will disappear with 10 million. The ones that it will not disappear with 10 million, it will disappear with 50 million. And the ones that won't disappear with 50 million, it will disappear with 100 million naira. Most people with 100 million naira, the challenges will go away. So in reality, our biggest challenge typically, because if you live in a country like Nigeria, there is no health care, there is no free water, there is no free education. You get nothing for free. So and it's those things that you and I are we're very pedantic, and that's why people say that when people have left, when they leave Nigeria, when they travel abroad, that they are not as prayerful because most of the things that they pray for in Nigeria, they get it from the environment or from the government in those places. So one of the ways is to realize that there is a solution. If you don't have enough money, there's a solution. If you don't have a great job, there's a solution. Whatever that issue or that challenge is, there's typically a solution. So what you need to be skilled with is being able to identify what the right solution is for your solution, for your challenge. And that's why we talk about, everybody, please write this down: problem identification and solution description. Problem identification and solution description or development, as the case may be. Problem identification and the solution development. There's usually a problem. There's got to be some kind of solution to it. There's got to be a solution to the problem. Health challenge, whatever that thing is, there will be some kind of solution to it. Sometimes you're too close to the issue and you can't even see the solution. So you and I need to be experts when it comes to problem identification and analysis, but we even need to be better experts when it comes to solution description and the development and the deployment of the solution in itself. So and grit and resilience is important. It's because it's the lack of grit and resilience. That's why you say if somebody has gone to commit suicide, that means, they're tired. Everything seems like it's crashing on them. They have a certain lifestyle. You can imagine if somebody was earning enough money to live in Victoria Island or to live in Ikoyi, and now they don't have any more money, and now it looks as if they have to move to a place called in the middle of nowhere. Maybe they even have to move to Ogun State, and they have a job that is in Lagos. You can imagine where somebody has kids, and their kids go to a school where they have to pay ₦1 million per term. Now they don't have money any longer, and they can't maintain that school. They need to take their kids to a school that they have to pay 100,000, and they don't like that. They have a certain position in the society, and they're falling from that particular position. This also happens to people who run businesses. I remember one year, it must have been a long time ago, I woke up on the first, there was $1, it must have been about 10 or 11 years ago. There was $1 change, I think the dollar moved from like 150 to maybe 200, or just during Christmas. And at the beginning of the year, I was in debt of 100 million naira at the beginning of the year. It was about 11 years or 12 years ago. Like I woke up in the new year and I had fresh debt of about 100 million naira because of the dollar changes. Like I remember there was a bank that we were building a data center for, and we had bought all sorts of things for their data center, and we just ran into trouble. So when people face those kinds of things, we couldn't pay salaries in the office. Everything was difficult. When people face those kinds of things, do they have the grit and the resilience to ensure that they stay mentally up to be able to get out of it? Some people, I have somebody who's tried to pass ICANN for 10 years or 11 years, and the person feels like a failure because everybody in their family is an accountant, and it looks like they will never be an accountant. And so the person is completely unhappy. The person is feeling like, oh, you know what, God has deserted me. And then the person is not thinking about an option that, you know what, maybe accounting is not the only thing in the world. Maybe the only thing in the world is not for me to become a medical doctor. Maybe there's actually something else that I might be able to thrive in. Maybe the person was never going to be a great accountant anyways. So this conversation of grit and resilience, it's important to all of us. It's important to us. The times are really difficult, but you can get out of difficult times. I mean, one of the guys that used to work for me, and he came to my place some weeks ago, about 2 or 3 weeks ago. He now lives in Qatar. He works there now. Qatar or Oman, one of those places in the Middle East is where he works. He earns in dollars, and till today he has not even gone to the university. Till today, because when I had him, he just finished a 6-month course, a 6-month course in AppTech, and I had him years ago, and he started working for me. And from there, he went to work for other people, and now till today, he hasn't even gone to school, but he earns in dollars. So there's a way out. There's a way out. One of the challenges is that we don't think about the alternatives. What are the legal and ethical alternatives? You want to make sure that you do something. What are the alternatives? Because there's not just one. I mean, the people say that there are many ways to skin a cat. There's just not one way to skin a cat. There are always alternatives, legal and ethical alternatives, as it is. So this conversation of grit and resilience is for us. It's for our wives. It's for our husbands. It's for our children. In this modern day of social media, everybody gets easily thrown off balance. Social media, that's one of the disadvantages of social media. You know, you just see somebody that's seated beside a big vehicle, and then, you know, they're standing, they're taking pictures beside the car, and you're like, hi, see this person, we went to school together, look at their big car, and now you feel dejected. You feel disappointed. You look at your own life, you say, what have I achieved with my own life? You know what, the car does not even belong to the person. There's a video that I watched where people go to, there's a place where there is a broken down airplane. There's a broken down airplane. So you can go in, they've remodeled the inside of it so that it looks like a private jet. You can go in, you pay, you take pictures inside of it, and you walk out of the place. So that's what a lot of people do. They go into the private jet, they take pictures inside of it, they put it on social media, and they go to their homes and they take Uber or even take a bus home. But they need to create a certain impression. So if you don't have children, and even so for some adults that are mentally strong, that everything is not just by, you know, looking at what other people are doing. Even as good as LinkedIn is, it's got its negative effects. So while it might inspire you, it might also make you feel, you know, completely disappointed and dejected in your own life. Because on LinkedIn, somebody will go in and say, you know what, I just passed this exam. I just made law school. I just did this. I just graduated with first class here. They'll post their certificates. They'll post their gowns. They'll say, I just got a new job. They'll say this. They'll say that. And at the end of the day, that might be inspirational for some people. And that is good that they're inspiring you with their achievements. But the flip side of it is that the people might also look at it and say, oh, you know what, this person is doing all these great things, or these people that we went to school, they're my age mate, they're my friends, they're doing all these great things. What am I doing with my own life? And then people start to have all sorts of mental challenges as it is. So as good as LinkedIn is, you've got to be careful, because you can't keep looking at other people's achievements, what other people are doing. You can't let that define your own life. You've got to have your own, and that's why we've carefully curated the topics for Transformation College. You've got to have your own vision. You've got to have your own goals. You've got to have your own focus, and you've got to follow your own path. Your path is not mine. Mine isn't yours. Or each of us, we've got our own path, and we've got to pursue our own path. Some of you are going to have a shop in the market. Some of you are going to do social work. Some of you will be nurses. You've got to have your own goal, your own path, and you need to follow through with yours. Not being moved around by what people are posting on LinkedIn, what people post on Instagram. You know, I can take an exam twice, and I won't post my failure on LinkedIn. But the day I pass that exam, I'm going to post it on LinkedIn, and I'm going to say, hey, congratulate me. I just scored 900 and something, but I'm not going to tell anybody that I did it twice. And what does it even matter if I pass an exam? You know, I mean, it's my exam. It adds no value to the people that are around. So I'm just saying, this is so, a lot of it is also around how people feel good with themselves. You know, we hired somebody, we're going to hire somebody. The lady, and I think I must have mentioned it somewhere. If you see her LinkedIn profile, her LinkedIn profile was like the profile of somebody who had 10 years worth of experience. Only for us to interview her, and she literally knew nothing. Actually, I think she hadn't even gone for what's that thing called? For youth service. Now, youth service is not a problem. I have people who work in our organization who earn a lot of money and they haven't even gone for youth service. But she didn't even have the skills. She just wrote all sorts of things on her LinkedIn page to get attention. And when we interviewed her, I told the people in the office, I said, this is a waste of time, that we can't hire this kind of person. That it's not about what she does not know. We don't expect her to come experienced, but she's positioning herself like she's got 10 years of experience while she just doesn't even have money. You see, she even said that she just graduated. She hadn't even collected a certificate from her university. And she had written like 12 things on LinkedIn. So resilience is important. If you don't take it seriously for yourself, you need to take it seriously for your children, for your younger ones, for your nephews, and for your nieces. All of us just heard last week the guy that just went to jump off the bridge. Jump from the balcony of his house. It's not the first, it's not the second, it's not the third one. Now, what do you think is causing that? They're disappointed in their own lives. They think that, that something that was good before is no longer good. And because of that, they've decided that they're going to kill themselves. Do you know how many people are in state and federal hospitals that have very poor health care, and they're hoping that some miracle will happen and they will still come out of that hospital? Now, if people who are bedridden, who have stroke, who are in the hospital are not killing themselves, how is it that somebody who lives in a high-rise, who's got a Mercedes-Benz, who's got kids that are going to very expensive schools, what can happen to that person that will make them kill themselves? So resilience and grit is important. And that's why all of you need to go and look for that book called Grit. I think I covered it on my first day when I had this. Everybody, you need to go and look at that book. It's called Grit. In fact, you should go on YouTube and go and look at what what's that thing called? The TED Talk for Grit. Somebody help me look for the link for the TED Talk for Grit that the lady, Duckworth, that she did. please put it in the chat room. Everybody needs, you all need to go to watch that video. Honestly, please look for the link. There is a video on YouTube. Just type Grit TED Talk. Grit, G-R-I-T, TED Talk. There's also a book called Grit. We need to train ourselves and we need to train our children, because social media is good. You can get a lot of education from it, but it is also bad because it just puts things, it gives you a distorted view. Some people use that entire social media just so that, you know, for their own self props, so to speak. And you that you're looking at it, you're being taken aback completely. Please look for that video by Angela Duckworth on YouTube on Grit, G-R-I-T. It's a good book if you can read it. If you can't read it, please listen to that 20-minute video that is on YouTube. It will do you a lot of good. If you're in business here, I've been in business for 21 years. I've had great times. I've had horrible times. I've had times that I felt like, you know what, I should quit, I should stop, I should go get a job in MTN, or I should go do something else, or I should just relocate. Thank you very much. Jonathan has put the a link in the chat room. Thank you, Jonathan. Jonathan. All right. Those are the times, you know, I remember in those days when I started doing professional exams, I went to do with some of my friends, and I think amongst 3 or 4 of us, when we were doing Microsoft exams, that must have been about 23 or 24 years ago. I was the only one that failed the exam. I was the only one that failed. At the end of the day, all of them stopped at 6. I ended up doing 12 Microsoft exams. So you will experience challenges. Some of those things that Dr. Chuba earlier is saying is true. Some of you, you've left the university with a bad grade. Some of you, you haven't completed the entire university, because I know people like that. They went to school for 5 years or 6 years or whatever number of years. They've gone to get their results. They say that something went wrong. And so in fact, I have somebody that I'm dealing with right now. They found out that they can't get their results. That means they actually never graduated from the university. And this is somebody that is almost 40 already. They never graduated from the university. And then the person is completely dejected. And I spoke to the person. I said, so what are you going to do? You're blessed. You're 40. There is one entity. It's, do you have WAEC? Go and get WAEC done. Again, age 40, you can still do WAEC. I mean, because of my vocation, I still went to do CRS in WAEC last year. I still went to do it. That must have been, I did WAEC prior to that, about 32 or 33 years. And I sat in a room that had kids in there. Some of the kids were 15, 16, 17. And I was sitting in the room with them, writing exams, WAEC exams, in some cramped chairs. So I told the person, I said, dude, you can still do WAEC. 40 does not mean you can't do WAEC any longer. You can still go to Open University. You can still go to LASPOTEC. You can still get a form and go to LASU. It's not the end of the world. These challenges, this failure, these issues that you've had, you can still do well. What's the name of that guy? The guy that has got the Russian-like sounding name, Vucic something. Not Vucic, the South African guy. I'm talking about the guy that is like, that has got very small legs and very small hands. Somebody please, what's the name of that guy? He's got very small legs and very small hands. The one that goes around speaking to audiences globally. It's got, you know, it's like, the guy is like, what? I don't even know how many meters that is. It's like, it's like 1 or 2 feet as a person. And this guy, he's married, he's got kids, and he goes around the entire world, paid in thousands of dollars to speak to people. You know the guy I'm talking about? Can somebody help me look for the guy's name? The small guy, the midget, the one that is a motivational and inspirational speaker. This is somebody that's got no legs and literally no hands. He's got no hands, right? So I think he's got very tiny legs, but no hands. Can you help me look for the name? It's got all sorts of videos on YouTube. Nick, thank you very much. If Olua, thank you very much. God bless you. If Olua, I think it's Nick. Right? Everybody, you can go on YouTube and you can look at a guy like that, and you think you're completely disadvantaged. The guy's got no hands. Nick has got no hands. You can still go to school at age 45. You can, if school is important to you. I've run a business for 23 years. I have failed so many times, but I've also succeeded. I mean, the times that, you know, I felt so bad. There was one time we could not pay our salaries for 6 months. Almost half of the staff of, what am I saying? 3/4 of the staff of the organization, they resigned. They all resigned. While we had contracts that we had to fulfill. I've run a company before that we made almost $1 billion in a year. Did you hear what I said? And I'm talking about some 13, 14 years ago, some 12 years, we made almost $1 billion in revenue per annum. And as things went wrong, I was not collecting a lot of my monies from the people who were owing me appropriately. I owed a microfinance bank. I had taxes that we were owing. And at the end of the day, I closed down that company. Like the company that was almost hitting $1 billion. Sonny is here. He can attest to you. We closed it down completely, like dead. That is like from what they say, from grace to grass is still good to under soil. From grace to under soil. And I started all over again. In fact, I could not afford an office. I had to use the garage in my house as an office when I started again. Because I went to check for other offices, I could not afford the amount of money. I started in the garage of my house all over again. In fact, I was attending I turned my living room into an office, and I moved my TV and all those things. I moved it upstairs. I made sure that I would only pick my kids from school when all the clients who could come to visit us had left. So literally, I was running a public-facing company out of my living room and my garage in my own house. This is after everybody has known me. This is after I used to have a big office. This is after I bought brand new cars, hired drivers and things like that. So I literally went from grace to under the grass, under the soil. And I started all over again. And we got the first client, and we got the second client, and we got the third client, and we got the fourth client, all over again. Brothers and sisters, you all need grit. You all need resilience, especially in Nigeria, and you need to train your children, your younger sisters, your younger brothers, your nieces, your nephews. And if you're a young person that is here on this call, you need to build some resilience, mental resilience. That's why everybody talks about mental health now. You need to have strong mental resilience that irrespective of things that happen, irrespective of issues, irrespective of challenges, you can still thrive. It is bad today. It does not mean it will be like that forever. You can learn, you can improve. This is not motivational speaking. I don't do motivational speaking. I'm telling you about things that are factual. Everybody's having mental, people get disappointed. They want to faint because they've made one mistake or the other. You can get better. Things can improve. You can fix the problem. I don't know how old you are. Maybe there is a 60-year-old person on the call or a 50-year-old person on the call. It doesn't come to an end. It has not ended. Know that you still have life inside of you. You can get on a call. You've got internet access. You can join this training. It can still be done. And this is not motivational. So that's why if you look at the design of this course, look at all the things that we have in the morning. They're like the things we call mastery. That's like they get that's what they are. That's why we've changed it from the student empowerment. It's a personal empowerment because it's mastery of things that you as a person you've got to have. The lady last week that came, that was teaching all of us about decorum and etiquette and social grace. I learned so much from what it is that she taught us. So if you master those things, your life will not remain the same. If you master the 12 things, you go back onto YouTube, you watch those videos all over again, your life will not remain the same. If you know those, in our company, we work with ISO standards. We do many things around ISO standards. And that is why we also put the ISO standards. The world needs standardization. The world needs to standardize health and safety, quality of processes, the environment, many things. You cannot be somebody who's truly knowledgeable of the ISO standards and you will not get a job. It's not possible. It is impossible that you will have the deep, adequate understanding of those things. You're personally empowered, you understand ISO standards, and finally, you're a great business analyst. You will not get a job. It is impossible. The challenge is some people are on this call, they're only listening because they want to get the certificate. So all that is at the back of their minds is that, how can I get the certificate? So they want to include the certificate in their CVs, but they don't have the skills. There's somebody who's applied to work with us. He graduated from this program last year. We interviewed him. He has the certificate from this same course. But when we interviewed him, he did not have the relevant skills that is expected from somebody who's graduated from this course. And we couldn't hire him because he's put all his hopes and his aspirations on a certificate, not on the skills. And the skills are very important. Today, we're going to learn a tool called Pencil for prototyping. Everybody, you can put that out there somewhere, Pencil for prototyping. There's a tool called Pencil that is used for prototyping. That is one of the things we're going to do today. That tool called Pencil. Now, the idea is not for you to just know that there's a tool called Pencil. That doesn't solve anything. That doesn't deliver anything to anybody. You have to know how to use the tool. You have to go to watch some videos on YouTube that is going to teach you further how to use the tool. Boma, our systems administrator, is going to show you a bit of how to use this tool called Pencil. Right? So if you look in here, so for some people, I think they need to install it, but Pencil is not the only tool. There's another one called Lucid Charts. So look at it. All right, you can prototype a couple of things. Which one did was it Ayola do? Edith. Was it Pencil also? Was it Pencil also that Ayola did? Was it? Anybody? The first business analysis class after the one I took, which was the introductory one. You did a tool. Was it the same Pencil tool? Anybody? Chat room, anybody? Was it the same Pencil tool? Was it the same one? Anybody? Oh, it's the same Pencil tool. Yes. Okay, good. So a tool like, thank you very much. All right. So a tool like Pencil, right? You can use it for prototyping. And there are many tools. So can people go into the chat room and tell me I think you've had 3 business analysis classes. I believe so. What are the 3 tools that have been demonstrated in those 3 classes? What are the 3 tools? Can people go to the chat room? The 3 tools that have been demonstrated in those classes. Just give me a minute from my computer. I want everybody to tell me, and tell me if you've gone to look at those tools at all. Have you gone to look at them? Just give me a minute, please. All right, I'm back. Nigerian problems. That is why I was trying to get power on. Run out of every other thing. So that I apologize. Okay. So as I said, look at how many tools have we done. So we've done pencil, right? Even if those are the only tools you know in this your lifetime. Thank you very much. Lawrence says Odoo, pencil, Bizagi. If these are the only tools you know in this life, if these are the only tools that you know in this life, you will still get an excellent job. You will. The challenge is that most people don't even know these things. People have not gone to look at them. People have not gone to practice them. People don't understand how these things work. So, and if you don't do it, carrying a certificate that says that you've attended Transformation College is not going to solve any problem. It will not solve your problems. A certificate is not the same thing as skills. Certificate is not the same thing as value. The idea is for you to be able to provide value to organizations. Let's go to the work for today. Kingsley. All right, let us go into the work for today. Let me share my screen and let's look at today. We will look at chapter 7 and I'll discuss a couple of other things with you. So today we're meant to be talking about business, modeling business processes. Modeling business processes. I have my friend that is probably on this call. Every time I ask him, I say, well, you're on the call? I say, yes. I said, but have you practiced the tool? He said, I'll do that later. Because the reason why anybody is going to hire you is one, that you know those things and you understand how they add value to organizations. But even more importantly, is that you're able to help with the use of the tools. You're able to help with the use of the tools in themselves. All right. So today, we're going to look at modeling business processes. And that tool that you did last week, which is Bizagi, is a good tool for this. Right? That tool that you use is called, so in between pencil and Bizagi, right? Between those two tools, just like you will use Visio or any of the other tools, these are excellent tools that you can use for modeling processes. Excellent tools that you can use for modeling processes. And once again, these things are important and they're essential. So these are the subtopics under this chapter 7, because this is chapter 7 in the business analysis book. And if you're part of this training, then you should have that business analysis book. You should have a copy of the book. You should go listen to the first class. For people who joined us late, who did not join us the first Saturday, you should go onto YouTube. Can you help me drop the link for YouTube and the link for the business analysis book again in the chat room so that others can have it? Go back to day 1. Go back to what I did on day 1. Go back to the YouTube recording. Go back to the set of slides for day 1 where I did the end-to-end introduction of this whole course in itself. So this is chapter 7 in the business analysis book that speaks about how do you model business processes? How do you go about modeling business processes? A simple business process. How do you model it in Microsoft Word? How do you model it in PowerPoint? How do you model it in Visio? How do you model it in a tool like Draw.io or Lucid Charts? All right. Please, somebody should help me drop a link in the chat room. Draw.io or Lucid Charts. Right? Or sorry, both. Draw.io and Lucid Charts. Simple tools. I can model a process in PowerPoint. I can model a process, right? But some tools are better than others when it comes to modeling. Some tools are better. So I've seen people use Lucid Charts. I've seen people use draw.io. Same thing you can do with Bizagi. The same thing. Okay, so today maybe when we get the chance, we'll be able to do something with draw.io. Maybe we'll be able to do something with draw.io today as another simple tool that you can use for modeling business processes. Another simple tool you can use for modeling business processes. So these are all the things I'm going to go through, and I'm going to go through this very quickly in the next 45 minutes. I'm going to go through this very quickly in the next 45 minutes. I will say a lot of things in this 45 minutes. I'm hoping that these things that I'm saying will help you, that you will get better, and you know, you will become better professionals when it comes to some of the to some of these things. Yes, you can put some of those links in the chat room. So here today we're meant to talk about organizational, or I am going to talk about organizational context, views of an organization, business processes, the concept of value proposition, process models, what is referred to as an as-is model, and of course, how do you improve business processes, how do you do process measurement, and how do you do business model notation. So very important things that I'm going to go through. I'm going to try to make it very quick as it is. So please, everybody, I'm hoping that you're with me. I'm hoping that these things that we're saying, that they will make a difference in your lives, in your career, and even with your businesses, and even with your schooling as it is. Number one thing that I always say to people all the time, I say it to people all the time, not sometimes, all the time. You have to first understand, especially when it comes to commercial work, when it comes to business, when it comes to management, what are the objectives of every business? You, as a person that does, as a great business analyst, your job is to be able to help your organization, either the one you work for, or the one that you own, or that you're the one that you're a part of. Your job is to contribute to how these objectives are met. Your job as a person, as a professional, as a student, as a worker, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, is primarily, first and foremost, to contribute to the achievement of these objectives for the organization you work for. And if you're a business owner, these are 10 objectives. If you're a business owner and you're on this call, you should take this slide and get to say, what is the answer? You know, when we say Q&A, question and answer, let's assume that these are the questions. What is the answer to these questions for your own business or your organization? People will talk about writing business plans. This is the most important thing. This is the most important business plan. What is the 5 W's and 1 H to each of these areas, or H squared? What is 5 W's and H squared for everything here? Because you will never be a great business analyst if you don't understand the objectives of organizations. These are the rudimentary things you need to know. An organization is there to ensure that they meet all these objectives. You will never find an organization that does not want to make revenue, does not want to make profit, They want their costs to skyrocket and to be unmanageable. You will never find an organization that says that I want to piss off all my customers. I don't want to have any competitive advantage over anybody. I don't want to increase my market share. I want to hire the worst of people and I have no plans of keeping them. I want to make sure that my products and services are the worst possible. I want to ensure that I don't innovate, and I want to ensure that my business processes don't improve. You will never find one organization on this earth that intentionally will say any of those things. And I tell people all the time, if you're going to be a great business analyst, help the organization achieve these things. Help your own organization achieve these things. Help your own business achieve these things. That is the number one job of a business analyst. And stored inside of these things are all sorts of things. There are processes in here. Each of these things has a process that is going to lead to them. Each of these things has a process that is going to lead to them. Your financial management process, your customer service processes, your HR processes. But we can't start to speak about processes when you don't even understand the objectives, because the processes in themselves, they're there for a specific reason and for a specific purpose. The processes are there for a specific reason and for a specific purpose. And these are the objectives of every business. Doesn't matter. And you as a business analyst, you as a student of Transformation College, you should know about these things. Let me move on very quickly because it continues. It doesn't end there. Look at it in here. If you say, why should organizations hire business analysts to help those organizations achieve these objectives? Why should organizations hire business analysts to help those organizations achieve these objectives? Okay. All right, let's move on very quickly. In the material, there's a portion in there that talks about value. And I think I said it once again, please share the link to the day one, the first day that we had that I took for this year's summer class. I talked about value. I said life is all about value. People do things because of value. You're here on this call, 100+ people because of the value you're hoping to get. You're using your data, you're part of this because of the value you're about to get. We are doing this because of the value we want to get out of it. We want that in years to come, we will go around the different places and every organization in Nigeria or in West Africa will have a Transformation College graduate in those organizations. That people will be able to say that, you know what, Transformation College is one of the entities that has propelled me to where I am today. That's the value we want to get. And value is always in the eyes of the person paying or the beholder. There's a reason why people go to buy things, buy iPhone. The purpose of buying it, the functionality they hope to get out of it, the price point. That's why prior to now, I never used to think about iPhones, because every time I go to buy iPhones, I'll be like, you know what, the cost of this iPhone is going to buy me 2 brand new. Somebody will tell me I should go and buy UK used iPhone. I'm like, the cost of this UK used iPhone is going to buy me 2 brand new Samsung phones, one for me or one for my wife. So why should I do that? So because from my own perspective, I didn't understand what the value was. Right? People will say it's got better cameras. I don't even use the cameras at all. People will say it's virus free. I'm like, my Android has never had a virus before. So Everybody has it from their perspective. Meanwhile, some other people cannot use any other phone apart from iPhone. Some people will kill for iPhone. People will do all sorts of things for iPhone. It depends on the value they're hoping to get out of it. For some people, they don't want to look poor. They don't want to look out of fashion. They don't want to look like, you know. And for some people, the cameras are very important to them. For some people, it's the resale value. See, it works differently for different people. The brand new iPhone 15 is 1.5 million bucks. You can also get a car for that same amount of money. And you can even get a master's degree for that same amount of money. You can get an MBA in this country with that same amount of money. I think an MBA in Laos is probably about 600 or 700 bucks, or 700 or 800 per year, and then you have to do it for like 1.5 years or 2 years. You end up paying about the same cost of an iPhone 15. So everybody's got what is important to them. For some people, it's the quality. That, oh, you know, iPhone, this is the quality that they're getting out of it. If it falls, the screen will break, but the screen is cheaper than a Samsung screen. So I'm not arguing for Samsung. I have an iPhone too. At least now I do. Right? But it's all tied to the value. Some people will not be able to sleep well at night if they don't have iPhone. Like, you know, something in their life. Some people would even feel like, you know, they missed heaven. God is against them. Mankind is against them if they don't have iPhones. Right? So it all depends. It all depends. Can that person that is scribbling on my screen please stop, please? Can that person that is scribbling on my screen, please, can you please stop that thing they're doing, whether you're doing it intentionally or I suppose it is unintentional, right? So if you're going to do anything at all, companies are always trying to provide value. I run a company, I run a training company, I run an audit company, I run the technology company. We're always trying to provide value. We're always trying to provide exceptional value. So we want our clients to pick us from a functionality, pick us from a price perspective, pick us from a quality perspective. Let us be your choice. We want to tell our clients that we're available to them all the time. Everybody's trying to build a great brand and a great image, not a false one, a real one, a veritable brand and image. Nobody wants to associate with poor brand and poor image. And of course, if you're a business, then you need to build relationships. Even as an individual, you need to have excellent relationships. Some people like to say that the difference between where you are now and where you want to be is the quality of the relationships that you have. Say, show me your friend and I'll show you who you are. In modern day, show me your friend and I'll tell you what your income is. Somebody even said that, you know, that your income is usually 10 to 20% of your immediate set of friends or something along those lines. And I've seen this to be true. That's why you see that some people, when they want to jackpot, almost all of them and their circle of friends, all of them will jackpot. You see some people, when somebody is doing ACCA or ICANN, amongst their friends, all of them will go to register for it. So relationships are very important. All of us need to build great relationships. We are hoping to build great relationships even with our students and our participants as it is. So you as a business analyst, you need to understand that what is the value from this process? How is this process going to help? How is this process? What is the value? What does it contribute to the objectives of the organization? Because the processes must contribute to the objectives of the organization. Let me move on very quickly. I put this slide here because once again, I can show you how to do many things just using Word, Excel, PowerPoint. PowerPoint, my favorite tool. There's nothing I use on my computer more than PowerPoint. I use PowerPoint more than I use Microsoft Word. And once again, if you're on this call, tell yourself, I need to get better with Microsoft Office. You will never be a great business analyst if you don't know how to use Microsoft Office. You will finish this course, you will do the 30 assessments, you will generate all your certificates. But if you don't know how to use Microsoft Office, people will not hire you. I'm telling you. People will not hire you. Combine the knowledge that you have from Transformation College Summer School program, combine it with an excellent ability to use Microsoft Office, you're guaranteed to be able to get a job as a business analyst somewhere. I promise you that. The challenge is that people don't know how to use Word. Tell them to do table of content, they're going to struggle. Tell them to format a table in Microsoft Word, they're going to struggle. Tell them to use PowerPoint, they're going to struggle. Let's not even mention Excel. Therein lies what the problem is. You don't even have to learn how to use the other. Just use the first, learn how, become an expert with number 1, number 2, and number 3. Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. WEP, web, Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. Just be an expert with the 3 of them and see your life transform. See your career transform. See how everybody in your organization is going to start coming to you that, can you help me with this document? Can you help me format this? If I tell you the number of people that I've had to help them to format their PowerPoint and Word documents, even I have a lot to learn in Excel. There's a gentleman that works with me, Wisdom, is my chief operations officer. He's excellent with the use of Excel. You need to get better. All right, let's move on very quickly. All right. There's so many industries, and if you're here, you can apply yourself in many industries. I was having this conversation with somebody recently. All these industries, they all need a business analyst. My sister makes clothes. I help her to analyze things all the time. My sister, she makes clothes. I help her to analyze things all the time. She was also a part of this program last year. She didn't graduate. She didn't complete all her assignments, so she could not graduate. She said she will join this year. When I called her this morning, she said she's in the market already, buying material for her clients. But she needs business analysis skills. She knows that. And so for everybody that is here, the market is big. How can somebody say that there is no money? There's too much money in the marketplace. We're having a meeting internally and people are saying, oh, there might not be enough. I said, there's too much money in the marketplace. The market is big. Hotels are looking for consultants, for business analysts. Restaurants and food making entities. Schools are looking for help. The challenge is that people don't have the right skills and the capabilities. They have the certificate. And that's the problem with the traditional Nigerian education, the traditional university education. That's the challenge. The traditional university education, you get knowledge, but you don't get skills. You know, Microsoft Office in itself is like a university. If you're an expert with these 10 different things, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Publisher, OneNote, Teams, Outlook, Microsoft Access, OneDrive, and Forms. That's like a university. 12 months of the year for you to become an expert in these areas. It's like a university. And this will do you more good than most master's degrees. This will do organizations more good than most master's degrees. Trust me, because this is real life skills. Imagine turning all the paper-based forms in your organization into electronic versions. You know, organizations have to launch a project called the Document and Record Management Initiative, and it is tied to OneDrive. How they manage documents and records is tied to how they do enterprise adoption of Microsoft OneDrive or Google Drive. Right? If you're going, there's an application of business analysts in every industry. So you can't say there's no money. There's more than enough money everywhere. I need to move on. Everybody, can you please go online? You all need to pass this exam. Please, there's a free, you can enroll for it for free, and you should pass it, and you should share your certificate on the WhatsApp group. Everybody, please go online. Go and look to do this. You should pass it. You should have the knowledge and build the skills, but own the certificate also. On the certificate, build the knowledge, build the skills. On the certificate, build the knowledge, build the skills. On the certificate, everybody. This is very important. It's about process management, 6 Sigma yellow belt. If you're part of this school, you should take advantage of this. This one and the one called Scrum. There's another one for Scrum study. The foundation certificate in Scrum. Boma, can you put that link in the chat room and also drop it in the WhatsApp group. Everybody should take advantage of this. They have some PDF documents you can download. They've got the training and it's for free. You should take advantage of this. Everybody. Everybody. All right. So please take this as your assignment for the week or one of your assignments for the week. Follow this program. Follow this program. You will get value from it. Your children will get value from it. Dedicate the next, I mean, we have just about 7 or 8 more weeks to complete the program. Saturdays. Focus on it. You will get value out of it. I'm telling you. You will get value at least on this earth. This program will significantly help you. So everybody go do this. It will help you, your understanding of processes. Inside of Six Sigma, there's this methodology called the MIC. Define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. It's part of Six Sigma. It is part of Six Sigma. That's why I said all of you should go to this. And it's part of the content for today. It's part of the content for this chapter 7. Do yourself some good. Learn these things. Define what the problem is. Measure it initially. Analyze, improve it, and then control it. Define what the problem is. Measure the as is. Measure how bad it is. Measure it. Do the baseline measurement. Then analyze, then improve, and then control it. Define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. You will get significant value from this engagement. If you focus on it, you will definitely be blessed from this whole thing. Okay? You will definitely get better from it. All right? This is also one of the things that everybody should know, this thing around constraints. You know, people talk about constraints, so it's called POGI. POGI. What does POGI mean? The process of ongoing improvement. That is why ISO 9001 is important to your lives. Every organization on this earth needs to do ISO 9001. ISO 9001 is the most important one because it's the one that talks about, is the one that speaks about the general improvement of all processes in an organization. And so there's this methodology called process of ongoing. Identify what the constraints are, exploit them, subordinate everything to the constraint, that means subject it to the constraint, elevate the constraint, and prevent inertia from becoming the constraint. So there's always a constraint. You know, sometimes in life when people say that, oh, I want to do this, but I don't have this, I'm like, but there's nothing you're ever going to want to do that you're going to have everything that you need. I was listening to one guy, he was saying that if you want to start a business, you don't need a lot of things. If you want to scale, you might need more things, but when initially, you don't need too much. So you focus on, there will always be some constraints. Time is a constraint. Resources will be a constraint. The environment might be a constraint. There will always be all sorts of constraints. To identify the constraints, you explain, Boma, can you please help me stop this thing where somebody is just, let me stop sharing for a second. Right, it's fine. Okay. Okay, I'm running out of time, all right? I think I spoke about this once again. I spoke about this earlier. There are objectives and processes that need to be in place so that those objectives are met. There are objectives and processes need to be in place so that those objectives are met. There are objectives and processes need to be in place so that those objectives are met, right? And that's why this slide is very important, everybody. If you're going to be a great business analyst, you need to understand this. That is why we're talking about how do you model a business process. I believe one of my colleagues, Femi, is going to show us maybe how to use a simple tool like draw.io. So I'm going to show us how to use a simple tool like draw.io. Very simple tool. Draw.io. Okay, simple tool like that. So if you're going to be a great business analyst, you have to understand the processes that an organization has got. And you're only as good as your processes. The reason why your business is not global is because some process is broken in your organization. The reason why that your small business is not getting bigger is because some process here is broken. The reason why I don't have an office in New York, an office in London, an office in Johannesburg is because some process in here is broken in my own organization. And I can tell you our own biggest process that is broken is our marketing process as an organization. My own organization, we do very poor marketing. We're good at many things, but we're not good at marketing. That is why we don't have an office in Joburg. That is why we don't have offices in every part of Africa, because our marketing is very poor. So you need to go back and think about it in your organization, because the reason why you're not number one is because something is broken. Something in your organization is broken. The job of the business analyst is to help you identify what is broken and help you come up with an approach that will help you fix what is broken. That is the job of a business analyst, to identify what is broken and to help you fix what is broken. Once again, your processes in your organization, there are many things you have to think about when it comes to your processes. There's so many things to think about when it comes to your processes. This is why I said all of you need to be yellow belt certified. Go through it. Spend some time just learning it properly. Every organization in the world is looking for process improvement experts. Every organization is looking for business analysts that understands process improvement. Everywhere in the world, PZ, Pfizer, Nestle, General Motors, GT Bank, First Bank, MTN, everybody is looking for a business analyst that is great at process improvement. Everywhere. Processes that are effective, that are efficient, that are accurate, that are correct, that are complete, that meet the client requirements, that provide value, that are reliable. Everybody in the world, every organization on this human earth is looking for a business analyst that will help them improve their processes. It is not possible. There's no insurance company, there's no bank, there's no small business owner that is not looking for a business analyst that will help them improve their business. All right? This might be tiny, but I like this and I put it up. And if I hope you can see it, you can take a screenshot. These are processes in an organization, processes in an organization, HR processes, IT processes, risk processes. If you're going to be a great business analyst, something like this, you have to understand it. This is from a methodology called APQC. Everybody, please write it somewhere. If you're going to be a great business analyst, you have to understand something like this. You have to take some time outside of this class to say, what in your, you can go for an interview and even take this sheet of paper with you, print it and say, which of these processes are broken? Because my job is that I help organizations document and model processes to the aim unto the end of helping them improve it. So you can have an intelligent conversation even during an interview to say, that's who I am. I'm a trained business analyst that helps organizations to improve their processes. I know how to model processes. I model the processes from two perspectives, an as-is, which is otherwise called the baseline, and a to-be, the future one, otherwise called the target process. The as is and the to be. You model how bad it is initially, and you give them descriptions, and you model a future state, which is the better state. You can go around telling somebody that that's my expertise. What I am an expert in one. We will identify the processes that are either don't exist or are not working appropriately. I will help you model the as is or the bad state or the baseline situation. I will then further to that help you identify a target, a future, a great process for that same thing that we're looking at. This is my job. This is the job that I do for organizations. I'm going to be with a brand new organization on Monday. This is what I know that allows me to do my job. I tell people, they say I do cybersecurity, they say I do this, they say I do that. I tell people the key thing that allows me to be able to do every other thing is my solid, strong knowledge when it comes to business analysis. It is on top of business analysis that I've built every other kind of competence. We're doing a lot of work around AI right now, using something called Microsoft Copilot and the AI Studio. The thing that is allowing me to do all that is my excellent knowledge of business analysis. All right, once again, because of time, look at things like this. I can go to a client site and say to them, let us identify your problems on this page. Which ones are you not doing? Which ones are you doing well? Which ones are you doing badly on this page? I can sit with my client and walk them through and guide them, and then use this to improve their processes. By working with them, we can then start to put color coding to it. We'll now say, oh, this one we're doing badly. This one we're not even doing at all. This one we need to improve upon. This one we need to automate. The reason why you're not getting a job, the reason why you're not earning 100,000 and above, the reason why you're struggling is simply because you don't have good business analysis skills. If you have good business analysis skills, even as an undergraduate, you will make money. The reason why you're not doing well is because of poor business analysis skills. That is the reason. The reason why anybody, if you've gone through this course, you should not earn 1 naira less than 100,000 naira. If you can demonstrate the skills, doesn't matter what your degree is, doesn't matter whether you even have a university degree, it has no bearing on it. The key thing is that you understand business processes, you know how to model them, and you know how to model them both on the as is and on the to be. You can't go to an organization and demonstrate your ability to be able to help with regards to customer service, with regards to HR, with regards to financial modeling. You can't. So don't play with this. Don't play with this period. Give yourself a gift for the year 2025. When you get out of this program, dip in your skills, you will find a job. Make sure you can defend that simple role that says, I'm a business analyst and my specialization is business process improvement. That should be the minimum specialization for everybody. I'm a business analyst. That is why this is a diploma in business analysis. All right? You should understand the business model canvas. I don't want to spend a lot of time here. Become somebody that can help an organization with this. Become somebody that can say, I will help you appropriately define who your existing partners are and what partners you should have, what your existing key activities are and which ones need to be improved, what your key resources are, which other ones that you need to, the other resources you need to get. I'll help you fine-tune your value proposition. I'll help you look at your revenue stream. I will define other revenue streams. I'll help you look at your cost structure. I will define further ways by which you can minimize costs within your business. Help a client with this. Be the business analyst that can help somebody to come up with this. All right. Once again, these are the kinds of things. This is even in the material. This diagram is in the material. It's on page 128 in the business analysis material. And it's saying exactly what I've been saying. It's about modeling. Layer everything, put things together, arrange them. What needs to work so that the organization can meet its objectives. Everybody look at this on my screen. That's why that's why we're doing process modeling, to understand what is a process. This in itself is a process model. This is a process model that speaks about process modeling. This is a process model that speaks about process modeling. Right? So processes are very important. The whole of ISO 9001 is around process modeling. It's around process management. So you can see many components of a process. Processes are they have a policy, they have some kind of owner, they have objectives and many things around processes. Become an expert when it comes to things like this. None of you should earn less than 100,000 naira before the end of this year. Like absolutely nobody. But you're going to have to be able to add value. Significant value. Be a business analyst whose specialization is business process improvement. When we say you want to model a process, this is an example. You draw it out from two perspectives, as is and to be. Please write that down. As is, otherwise called the present state, otherwise called the baseline. As is, sometimes we call it the present state, sometimes we call it the baseline. And then to be, otherwise called future state, otherwise called the target state, which is the improved version of that process. As is versus to be, baseline versus target, present versus future. Because as is not good enough. If your expertise is to just model the thing as it is as at today, then that's not good enough. You also have to be able to model it in terms of what it should look like in the future. Very important. This is what we need you all to be able to draw out. This is what we need. This is what we need you all to be able to get. This is what Femi, my colleague, is going to show you using a tool called draw.io. Simple, straightforward. Of course, there are many complex diagrams that you can have, but organizations need to build SOPs. Organizations need to drop process models. Organizations need to drop an as is and a to be. There's no company that does not need this. But the companies, they don't have experts. Banks in Nigeria, we were with a bank yesterday. They're still struggling with some of these things. Learn to use the tools. Spend some time during the week. Spend some time on Sundays. Don't think that this class, they end when we finish by 3 o'clock on Saturday. That's it till next week Saturday. You will not get value from the program. This is what we mean by to model a business process. And there are many ways around it. Every manufacturing company is thinking about, everybody's always trying to optimize their procure to pay process. Look at it. There's no company that's not trying to improve their procure to pay process. Look at this diagram, everybody. Femi is going to show you how to do a simple one, how to do maybe some that are also a bit more complicated, but he's got 30 minutes to do that. You can't learn everything within the class. Ours is to push you and to spoil you in the right direction. There is no company that is not trying to get this right. There's no procurement department in any type of company that is not worried about their procure to pay process. Everybody is trying to improve their procure to pay process. Everybody. Know these things. I mean, sometimes when I'm teaching, showing people, I'm like, there's something inside of ISO 4.4 that the 9001 that talks about the interaction of processes. And I sometimes use this diagram to illustrate the interaction of processes. The interaction of processes. Same thing here. Companies are always looking for people to help them when it comes to this. Companies are always, not sometimes, they're always looking for people to help them. This diagram is directly from ISO 9001. The concept of process modeling. The expectation is that in ISO 9001, organizations will have processes clearly modeled, and they gave a generic version of it in 9001. This diagram is from the 9001 standard that we talked about on day one. To tell you the importance of process modeling. Look at this. Lead generation to how you make money. Everybody's looking. Who's not worried about this? What kind of company will you exist that is not worried about how to get this right, how to improve it, how to ensure that it's more efficient and effective and delivers results? What kind of company is that? Even in Transformation College, we're worried about this. In Training Nights, we're worried about this. How do we generate leads? How do we ensure we do marketing? How do we get sales right? How do we quote our prices right? How do we ensure we do customer service? How do we manage projects? How do we fulfill orders? How do we make sure we do the reconciliation of our revenue? MTN has this challenge. They're trying to improve this. Not to now talk about every ISP, every electricity company, every manufacturing company. If you go through this 12 weeks and you can't get a better job, you're not improved, you can't get promoted in your organization, something is wrong somewhere, and it's not the training course, it is you. That's why when Dr. Shobale was saying, he said, go back and look inwards. It is you. This is what the business process model is. This is what is called business process modeling. This chapter 7, this is what is about, the modeling of business processes. Right? I can show you 1,000,001 examples. We're doing an audio project we're doing an ERP project for a client. We're helping them with this right now. The team, they're drawing this out for the client right now as we speak. Doing this because we can't automate what we have not modeled appropriately. Otherwise, we're going to have problems. So we will first model a version and as is. We'll now model a to be for the client, telling the client, we're writing the team, the lady Christiana, she's going to be teaching us one of the weeks, and Kingsley, they're writing documents right now called requirements document. What we're talking about is what we do. It's not this is not a school like, where the lecturer will come and teach you what he has read. This is what we do. This is how clients pay us. This is how we pay our rent. This is how we pay 20-something million bucks every month in payroll. This is how we do it with this skill set. okay? I mean, we use this all the time, everybody. Look at this. We're using this for a client because of their ERP work. We're modeling it. Manager wants to hire. Is the position available? Yes. Well, what about the job description? Yes. Who is the manager's? Who is the manager changing the job? Is the manager changing the job description? No. HR review of the position request, approval routing. The job is posted. Applicants what? Match to the posting. The position closes. Manager interviews the applicants. Manager further interviews the applicant. New employee arrives. With what the system must be able to do, we're doing this right now. This is what a business analyst does, everybody. This is not theoretical. This is not like a university. We're very focused on skill acquisition, technical skills, IT skills, business analysis skills. This is what we do. Under each of those things, you can see system tracks available and field position. We model this before we build a system or before we configure the system. Projects go wrong because people don't have good business analysts. IT projects go wrong because we don't have business analysts. These same business analysis, we sell it to organizations, we train companies. Doesn't matter whether it is NIBS or InterSwitch or eTransact. This is the work that we do. So you can see you model and you now write what it is that is the expectation and what the system can do. Because sometimes the system cannot meet the expectation of the client, especially when the system is an off-the-shelf system. It might not be able to meet the expectation. So we must marry what the client wants with what the system is capable of, if it's an off-the-shelf system. Otherwise, we must marry what the client wants with how the team that is going to be doing the application development, how they're going to build the application. So you can see, this is the work that we do. Hiring benefits, system tracks available and field positions. This is if we're going to build a custom system. This is what the application developers do not do. Because application developers don't do this, this is why projects go wrong. Projects go wrong because they don't have great business analysts. And finally, once again, you need to be able to track things. If it can't be measured, it cannot be improved. If it's going to be improved, of necessity, it must be measurable. If it's going to improve, of necessity, it must be measurable. So you will see things like this. The concept of KPIs. The concept of KPIs. You need a business analyst to even come up with this, because you can't come up with a set of KPIs that you don't have data for. You need a business analyst, a good one, to be able to do this. So there's a portion in the material that talks about measurements or metrics. That's what this is about. And lastly, all of us need to be able to build great dashboards. We can't teach you everything in this 12 weeks, but we'll try. You need to go and learn how to use a tool like Tableau. To go on YouTube, just go and start watching how to use Tableau. Please, can somebody put a link there? A link in the chat room, Tableau. And Power BI. Companies are going crazy because they have bought Power BI, but they don't have analysts that can help them analyze the data sets that they have and can help them translate those things into Power BI and using Power BI and Tableau to translate it into dashboards. Companies are desperately looking for people that can do this. Desperately. Right, thank you very much, everyone. It's been great talking to you. Do you have questions as I introduce my colleague, Femi? Femi seated out of the Ghana office, and he's going to People that are asking for the business analysis materials, questions, please, quickly, so that Femi can, please, Boma, make sure Femi can share his screen in a second. I'll get off this call. Can you get a copy of what is ineligible? Link to the business analysis material. I mean, there's a WhatsApp group. They've shared that link in there. They'll share it again. All right, good. Questions, everybody, so that I can go. Questions. Yes, thank you very much. Mercy has put the link for Tableau. Companies are looking for people that can build dashboards for them. Questions, anybody? Questions very quickly. You cannot be a graduate of transformation college and you won't have a job. It means that you didn't learn what you're meant to learn. And you'll go ahead. You can either type or speak very quickly so that my friend, my colleague, Femi can go ahead. Boma, please allow Femi Olujare to be able to share his screen. And you'll please go ahead, either type or speak. Can I take comments also, everybody? I want comments from everybody in the chat room. Quickly. Comments, thoughts, questions in the chat room. Business model, and automation. Automation means that you will now start to use forms and to use a database. Modeling, it just means that you use a modeling software like draw.io that is about to show to you, or pencil like the other time. All right, so please, that's it, Michael. Okay, Eniola, please, can you type? Or if you can speak or type. I want comments from everybody. What are your thoughts? What have you gained from today? All right. Oh, yes, Leonard, there's definitely an opportunity for internship. Please speak with Mercy. She'll be able to help you out. All right. Comments, everybody. Thank you very much, Kristen. Thank you, Adeleke. All right, comments. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts, everybody? Good. Adeleke says it's already using draw.io, which is great. Absolutely. Thank you, Richard. Thank you very much, Oni. Thoughts, everybody? Oh, yes, absolutely. The BA is the best person to even draw all those process models and SOPs that are needed inside of 9001. But remember what I said on day one. I said all of us need to have business analysis skills. We don't have to have a role called business analysis or business analyst, but all of us need to have business analysis skills. I think people should go back to watch my video, the session I took on day one. All of us must have, and I think even on day two, all right, all of us must have business analysis skills. Oh, yeah, Bello, thank you very much. People want certificates, but you just go in there and tell them, go and boast and tell them that I'm the best business analyst they can find and your expertise is this and that you know PowerPoint and Excel. Trust me, or the companies, they might not be able to hire you traditionally, they'll give you a small contract as a contract staff in the organization. Oh, no, Figma is your best bet. You don't need to use pencil. But you know, Figma, there is a free version and there's a paid version, but pencil is an open source project. So yeah. Okay, so yeah, Figma is definitely better than pencil. Any other thoughts as I bring this to a beautiful close and introduce my friend, my colleague, Femi Olujare. It will take us through how to use draw.io. Absolutely. All of us, we need to improve ourselves. We need to read it, and improve is not just to use words to say it. You need to go and get better with Microsoft Office. So just go in there and promise people what you can do. All right, please get on this course. If you've taken the time to come here, you're using your data on Saturday, make sure you get the best out of it. Let's make sure that we can come to you and you can give us a testimony of how this program has helped to improve your life. Well done, Adeleke. I've seen some of your draw.io work. Thank you very much. All right. Oh, absolutely, Sonny. I agree with you. Thank you, Lawrence. All right. Please, internship, just speak with Mercy. Just speak with Mercy. Good. Mr. Femi, over to you. Once again, thank you very much, everyone. Thank you very much. God bless you. Femi will do this very quickly in 30 minutes, and then he'll allow everybody go for their break, right? You'll do this in about 25 to 30 minutes, and people can go for their break. Thank you very much, everyone. God bless you. Thank you. Femi, over to you. Please allow Femi share his screen.
Yes. I believe I'm already sharing my screen. So good morning. Good morning from my end, everybody. I would keep this quite brief and simple, but please kindly confirm that you can hear me.
Femi, I can hear you loud and clear.
All right, beautiful. All right,
but
so
you might want to speak a bit louder, but I can hear you. But you might want to speak a bit louder.
all right, that's not difficult. All right, like the doctor. Need as a business analyst is diagramming and also modeling tools, right? I believe you can hear me clearly, right? As we all know, the purpose of using this solution basically or primarily is to help you with respect to creating visual processes and also how systems integrate with each other, and also help you with respect to okay, my screen is dark. All right, I will see how I will change it. I think it's modeling my laptop view, so I will see how I'll change that. So primarily, you use a diagram solution or a modeling solution to create visual representation of processes, systems, or data flows, right? This just helps your stakeholder understand certain things that you're trying to depict as a business analyst, right? There are lots of solutions, right? Please, I'm not saying that, or we're not saying that Dryo is the best there is, but we have lots, right? We have Bizagi, we have a lot of these solutions that you can also leverage. I mean, Microsoft Visio is there, Lucy Chat is there, right? Some solutions also have the functionality of even automating some of these processes. So please have that at the back of your mind, right? Because this is the easiest, or not even the easiest, but this is the free one that we can get and we can use, right? So everyone, you can just go to draw.io on your browser. You can just go to draw.io on your browser. You just need to sign in. You can sign in either with your Gmail and or you can just create a new account and then you can start using. It's another thing that you want to note that is this: when you're designing these things, there are different shapes, there are different flow charts that you use, and they are different. They have different representation and they have different meanings, right? And since we don't have time, we don't have a lot of time to talk about what some of these things mean. I would have loved to, explain some of this information to you, but we don't really have that time as at now. So what we'll just do is this: we'll just pick a case study. We'll just pick a process case study, and then we will work with it. Let's just pick something ranging from, let's do a poll, right? What would you want us to briefly create a process on? Should we do a change management process briefly? Should we do an HR onboarding or recruitment process? Or should we do an incident management process? So let's see the chart. The highest vote is what we'll go with. Which would you want us to do? Because we only have the option to do one: incident management process, change management process, or an HR onboarding management process. All right, I think we're about 114. So I think what I would do is this. Majority. I mean, this is we're practicing a democracy here. So majority will go with me. I can see lots of HR. I can see, okay, I think we have a tie between incident management process and change management process. All right, if we have the time, we would take both. If we have the time, we'll definitely take both. But I think we'll likely just go with incident management process, because I can see we have a lot of it here. All right, let's just work with incident management. So let's work with the incident management process. HR is more, sir. Let's see. I can see someone saying HR is more. Okay, so let's see if we can do both. I'll definitely ensure that we do both. Right? Okay, then let's see HR management process. Right? Let's talk about the process of onboarding someone within the organization. We'll start with recruitment. I can see people are saying incident management process. So we'll see if we can do both, we'll do both. Right? If we can do both, we'll do both. Right? If we can do both, we will do both. So I believe you can all see my screen. You know, like I told you, the solution which we're using is draw.io. What we're using is draw.io. And you can see on my screen here, these are some of the shapes that we work with. Incident is more. Which one is now more? Right? So you know what we'll do? If we can do both, if you can permit me, give me some time, and then we would work with both. Right? If we can do both, we will definitely do both. Right? We have different shapes. We have different diagrams that we can work with within the solution. The screen is dark. Oh, I know my screen is dark. Okay, let me change it to white. Give me a minute. Let me see. Give me a minute. It's modeling my screen. So just give me a minute. Let me see how I can change it to white so everyone can at least see my screen. All right? Give me a minute. All right, let me change my screen briefly. All right, please give me a minute. I'm trying to change my screen. Please kindly give me a minute because people are saying it's a dark mode. But I believe dark mode helps people with respect to readability, but let's see if we can change it. I don't want to take too much of our time, and we'll probably just, flow with it. So it's just the appearance I need to change. So no, what you change is the appearance, not typically the background color. So just go to the appearance and then you change it. All right, let me reshare my screen. All right, give me a minute. Let me share my screen. All right, so yes, what you just change is the appearance. What you change is the appearance to get, give me a minute. So please, yes, what you change is here, the appearance, and then you change it to white. The line, what I was using was dark, right? So let's proceed. The very first thing we want to do is what? An incident management process, right? There are certain things that you need to have at the back of your mind first, right? You need to understand what an incident means. We can't go into all of those details. So I'm having an issue with this, Gideon. We'll get back to that when we're about closing. I'll tell you, you can that's just to select your repository, right? So good. Like we said, there are different shapes that we can work with, right? All of these shapes, they have different meanings, but, we really don't have time. Some will tell you about, the oval or the circle sometimes will depict a start. The parallelogram sometimes, the square sometimes will depict a process. The square with lines inside of it will depict a sub-process, right? There are things that talk about document. This is what you referencing a document, etc. Right? So let's just proceed. Let us just proceed. So the very first thing you might want to do is probably just, depict a start icon, right? And the beautiful thing about this is this: when you hover around the shape, right? When you hover around the shape, you click at the arrow wherever you want to join the next shape, and it shows you the next diagram, right? This is just a general shape, right? Please note that this is just a general shape. If I wanted to work with a flow chart, this will be what I will be working with. Please have it at the back of your mind, right? You can see the flowchart shapes here, right? So the very first thing we want to talk about during an incident management process is to first identify sources of our incidents, right? Where do we get notified? How can we get notified of various incidents, right? Within an organization, there are different, solutions that would, help you get notified of an incident, right? Be it an individual can make you aware of a particular incident. Your event management solution can make you aware. Email notification also can make you aware of a particular incident in the first instance. So the very first thing you want to do is first identify the various sources, right? Good. So what I can do is this, right? Let me delete this, right? Let me go back here, right? Let me just depict this. What I want to do is I want to depict the various sources of my incident, right? It could be event management solution. I could even get notified of an incident from my supplier, right? This could be my SIM, right? SIM is just an event management solution. Yes, right? Security information event management solution. So we could also get notified from what? End user, right? We could also get notified from what? Your supplier, right? So when we get notified of this incident, what do we do? Right? When we get notified of this incident, what's the next thing we do? Right, the next thing we want to do there is what? To ensure that we identify this incident, right? There's a lot that goes into a process document. There are lots of inputs that goes into a process document. So it's very, very important for us to have that at the back of your mind, right? And please also note that, well, depending on the culture of the organization will determine how you go ahead to, to model this your process flow or to create this your process flow. Right, so it's very, very important that you note that what you have to have a wider understanding of the organization before you go ahead and create some of these things, right? That's why we have lots of stakeholder engagement and also involvement in this, right? So once we do incident identification, the next thing we want to do is what? Okay, the next thing I want to do is this. Right, incident identification. Incident has been identified. Right? And there are some organizations that, there's some organizations whereby they don't really understand, so their end users don't really understand the difference between a service request and an incident management and an incident, right? Most organizations, there's always that issue whereby most people don't really understand which is a service request and which is an incident. And the words are too tiny to see. Oh, really? And are you sure? I think it's okay. I will increase it. I will increase it as we proceed. I will increase it as we proceed, right? So good. In situations like that, you really want to, your first level or your system, your service desk analyst, that's what we likely will call them, right? In other organizations, right? Your analyst will come here to identify if this is really, right? If this is really an incident, right? If this is really an incident, that's where we use what? Something called a decision box, right? That's where we have something called a decision box, right? This decision box is always represented via this, right? The decision box is always represented via this, right? So we're just trying to ensure that, is this an incident? Is this really an incident? If yes, we proceed. If no, we what? If yes, we proceed, and if no, we reroute it, right? If no, we what? We reroute it. Right? If yes, right? If yes, it means that what? We proceed. If yes, we then what? We proceed to what? Logging the incident, right? So you can't really see anything. Let me, okay, give me a minute. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Let me see if I can increase my, this is, I thought I was doing, let me see if I can increase my view. But if I do this, it will definitely, so let me just, I'm trying not to, okay, let me just increase the fonts altogether. Right? Is it everybody? Is it everybody that can't see my screen? The size is fine, right? So I believe it's probably okay. They're saying the size is fine. Probably it's your phone. You can, okay, good. Thank you very much for the, so the size is okay. Okay. Thank you, everybody. So it's good to know that the size is okay. All right. Thank you very much for that. Right? If this is an incident, then the next thing we want to do is what? The next thing we want to do is ensure that what we go ahead to what? We log this incident. We want to go ahead to what? Logging this incident. We want to go ahead to logging this incident. Right? Good. Right? So this is, if yes, we go ahead to log in the incident. Right? So after logging the incident, what's the next we want to do? Right? We have to ensure that what? We categorize the incident. Right? We categorize the incident. What type of incident is it? Right? So the next we want to do is what? We categorize. Right? After we categorize the incident, the next thing we want to do is what? Prioritize the incident. You know, within organizations, we have different prioritization of incident. In some organizations, you see severity 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sorry, I'm just joking with 7, 8. But it's severity 1, 2, 3, right? Some organizations will say tier 1 to 3. Some organizations will say high, medium, low. So please, you know, I said it earlier, depending on what? The organization. That's why I told you initially that you have to first understand, you know, you have to have, you know, a wider understanding of what the organization in the first instance before you go ahead into doing all of these things, right? So let's use a case study that, you know, within our own organization, we have high, medium, low, and major incident, right? High, medium, low, major incident. Let's have it at that, let's have it at the back of our mind. That will just, we'll use that as our case study, right? Please note that I'm not saying that is how you would do it. I'm saying that depending on the organization, right? Depending on the organization, depending on the culture of the organization will determine how you know, how your nomenclature would look like, right? So now let us proceed. So now let's talk about categorization, right? The next thing we want to do is prioritize. So the next thing is what? Incident prioritization. Prioritization. Right? So how do you prioritize? Based on what? All right, based on these things that we've discussed. Let's say we prioritize based on this. Let's say we've said what? High. The beautiful thing is you can readjust this as you like. Right? High, medium. High, medium, low. You know, some organizations, sorry. high, medium, low. Major, right? Depending, I said depending on the organization, right? Please have it at the back of your mind, right? We know, right, at the back of our mind that you cannot treat a normal high or low incident how you would treat a major incident, right? Yes, Richard. Yes. That is noted. I'll take that into consideration. Yes, that is noted. So I'll try my best to speed it up, right? So the next thing we want to do is this. When it comes to a major incident, we know that what? We will reference what? When it's a major incident, we will leverage what? The major incident management process. You should have a different dedicated process for what? Handling major incident, right? You can say refer to the major incident management process, right? Ideally, that is best practice, right? You should have, ideally, that is best practice. You should have a separate process for managing major incidents, right? Because we know that what major incidents are incidents that has gone way beyond our threshold as an organization, right? So ideally, you should have that, right? In some situations, you can even have a solution that what when you can have a link here that when you click on the link within the major incident process, or you click on it, it will take you into the major incident management process, right? There are solutions, there are modeling and diagramming solutions that can even help you achieve that, right? That can even help you achieve that. So it's important for us to note these things, right? Good. So we know we'll refer to the major incident management process, but for others, we'll just go into what? Incident diagnosis, right? For others, we'll just go into what? Incident diagnosis. Right? When I mean for others, I mean for everything. Right? We diagnose the incident. Let's proceed. Right? When we diagnose the incident, what's the next thing we do? Right? During the incident diagnosis, you can say that, okay, you know what, there's every tendency that you might need to escalate this incident. Right? You might need to escalate this incident if your first level support cannot what resolve this particular incident. So the next thing you want to ask is what? Is escalation needed? Please, I don't understand how the arrows are being drawn. Okay, good. So Precious, what you just need to do is this. Once you have a shape, you click on the shape. Once you click on the shape, you can see this. You can see this triangle, right? You can see this triangle, right? If I see this triangle, if I click on this triangle, you can see that I have these shapes right here, right? If I want to just select another shape, I'll just click on that shape. But if not, I will just drag out the arrow. So once I drag out the arrow, automatically it will draw me what? It will draw out. Can you see it? That's because what? I was dragging out the arrow. So let me delete and do it again. So when you hover around the diagram, you see this. When you see this arrow, you see the 4 cardinal, you can see it. Right? You can see the arrows here. So when I click on an arrow, I've not clicked on it. When I hover around an arrow, I will click on it and then draw it out. I will draw it out, then I can use it to join any other process or so process that I'm trying to, reference. I believe that's fine. So let's proceed. So the next thing is this: will escalation be needed? If yes, then we know that what? If yes, then we escalate to subject matter expert, right? In some organizations, we can say second level of support. Are we together? This is if yes, right?
then we know that what? If no, we know that what? The resolution has either been what? Identified. So let's proceed. You make mention of, I don't understand what Ugo, I don't understand that statement. Please, I don't understand what you're saying. And okay, no, we don't need escalation because what? There's something that what we found the resolution is something that we can resolve. Right? So when we've done this, the next thing we want to do is this. Right? We've identified what? The resolution, right? And the next thing we want to now go is what? Actually go resolve the issue and ensure that what? We recover what? Service back to what? Normal operational form, right? So let's proceed. The next thing we want to do is after this is what? Resolve, resolution, and what? Recovery. Right? Resolution and recovery. And the next thing you want to do is what? There are other sub-processes that you should take into consideration, right? When you've resolved a particular incident and when you've recovered, the next thing you want to do is ensure that what? You populate it into what? A knowledge management solution. Right? I don't want to go into details, but if you've done ITIL or if you've done any service management course before, you know that what a very, very important criteria or a very, very important requirement is for you to ensure that what you document your knowledge-based articles, right? So these example of knowledge-based articles could be what your resolution steps, right? How you resolve a particular incident. You should ensure that you document it. So that's what we want to do now, right? Populate, associate. This is KBA is not called knowledge-based articles, right? Knowledge-based articles. Good. In fact, this ideally I should use, let me change the shape. Let me see if I can still change. Ideally, let me use this. I want to use a document to represent this. Right? Populate, associate, and what? Approve the knowledge-based articles. After we've done this, the next thing is what? To ensure that what? We close the incident. Right? But you know that you can't just close an incident without feedback from what? Your users. One of the very, very important sub-process to this is what? Right? Is to ensure that what? You get feedback, right? Right? So it's very, very important that you note this. So after doing this, you know that you still have to ensure that what? You go ahead to populate the description of these things. Right? This is just you diagramming the process flow. Right? You still have to go ahead to now explain what this processes will mean or what it entails. Right? So please have that at the back of your mind. But this is a normal incident management process flow, right? Please note that it can vary depending on the organization. I'm not saying this is the I'm not saying this should serve as a yardstick, right? But this is a normal incident management process that organizations, lots of enterprise organizations utilize, right? So please have it at the back of your mind, right? Very, very important that we note, right? So let us proceed. Is there a particular course or something to formulate a process? Because I wondered how it was easy for you to sketch a process, for instance. So ideally, there are lots of best practices, right? There are lots of best practices with respect to managing processes. You know, Doctor earlier said something about the APQC, right? APQC help you understand, you know, how you should ideally manage processes in alignment with best practices for some processes, right? For other service management processes, what we do, right? What people within that industry do is that we leverage best practices like, you know, ITIL, right? ITIL, you know, will give us an understanding of how you should approach these processes, and that's how we do it, right? For some information security related processes, you know, there are lots of, you know, there are lots of references, right? You could go to the CIS. When you go to the CIS platform, you will see lots of detailed processes, right? You can also, there are lots of things that you can leverage, right? So, but what we do is that we understand the best practices, and based on the best practices, based on, you know, utilizing these best practices, we can then map out these processes, right? Adewale, I hope that is fine. So the next thing we want to do is this. I hope we're good. I hope we're good. Please note that, right? If you want to go via the standardized way, they are different, right? These diagrams have different meanings and have different representations, right? This is what to depict a process. This is to depict a document. This is to depict a decision, right? This is to depict a decision in some cases, right? This is to depict document. This is to depict an actor. There are lots of things that you should take into consideration, right? Because we're not, ideally, you should go through a, I've forgotten the actual name, but we have dedicated courses for this, right? And before we go, I will definitely just share you, I can share you sites that you can go through to check the meaning of some of these diagrams, right? Please have it at the back of your mind. So, all right, now let us proceed. Let me see if we can, I know it's 30 minutes, but should we do the HR process? So we just do the HR process. All right. That is noted. That is noted. Right? Let's talk about the process of recruiting somebody. Right? Let's talk about the process of recruiting. Let's talk about the process of recruiting somebody. What I am able to do.
Hello, Mr. Femi. Good afternoon. Please excuse me for a while. Okay, because, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, ma, I can hear you.
Okay, I don't think we should go on with the HR because of our time.
All right,
We are
that's fine.
supposed to be on a break right now. Yes,
All right,
please.
okay,
Thank you
I'm
so
sorry.
much.
That's fine by me.
Apologies for the students, please.
No issues at all. That's fine by me. That's so fine by me. That's fine by me. All right, that's noted. Oh, beautiful. Adeleke, beautiful. I saw what you did. This is beautiful. Right. All right, that's fine. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day. I have to log off now. Have a wonderful weekend.
All right, Mr. Femi, thank you so much for this wonderful session. We really appreciate you. I believe that everyone really enjoyed your session. All right. Thank you so much for such an informative session with you. Please, we apologize for that, okay? if time permits us, we will have to invite Mr. Femi once more, please. Let's quickly go on a short break and refresh ourselves. If you want to charge, you can charge. We'll be back at exactly 1:30. Thank you so much.